what its original name is because it's Neolithic, but we do know what the name of it was 1200 years ago, which was Wodnes Beorge, or Wodnes Beorge, and that's what it was called in the Anglo-Saxon Charter. It's Neolithic. It's a chambered tomb, a long barrow, and it is. We're north of Alton Priors, and we're to the right of me is a what do you call it? A causewayed enclosure, which I'll show you some footage of in a minute, and which is also Neolithic. It was a segmented society in Wessex, and that's what you're seeing with those causeways, where the ring that makes up the crown of the hill is segmented. The theory is each local family would have a part and lay ceremonially important items there, whereas other monuments later on sort of glorify one individual. We're talking a sort of a confederation. This is marked on the map as the Ridgeway, and it joins up to what I call the Ridgeway, which is a way along the ridge. But this cuts across the ridge, as you can see above us. So what the charter says is the Charter of Alton. It basically says go up to Gerichter up to them Yelden Herapatha be Western Wodnes Beorge, and what that basically means is that a hare is an army. A patha, let's say patha, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Herapatha is a path. It's basically the army path. Grundy translates it as highway, and I expect that might be what it becomes in later times. But it basically means warpath, the army path, and that's. So I think that's a mistake. That it does join up with the Ridgeway, which is a good thing. But then, the M3 joins up with the A4. It's something. No, it doesn't. You know what I'm the M5 joins up with the M4. It doesn't make them the same thing. So anyway. You might be able to see the segments on the causewayed enclosure there. But these lines going along just near the top of the ridge there, there's multiple lines. They're not an earthwork. What they are, you might be able to see them just along there. What they are is people in the wet and the mud can no longer carry along the path they were going. They're slipping, sliding all over the place. So they take a route that is sort of like 10 feet apart from it, and either side. And that's left over the years new pathways up the hill. So it's nothing profound, it's just people making their way across the landscape. Where they're going to, probably Marlborough, I would expect. And considering Marlborough's sort of 12th century settlement, that would suggest it might not be that old. But then again, it could be aiming for Cunetio, which is a Roman settlement just across from Marlborough. So who knows? So it's all guesswork. the valley to the right of us, which has a road down it, different from, it's not on the ridgeway, there's another road going slightly off at an angle. That's marked on the charter. Well, Grundy thinks that's the Churl's Coombe, which means exactly what it means today, the Coombe of the Churls. And now Churl today is an insult. I expect if you were aristocracy in Anglo-Saxon times, it would be an insult then as well. But it was Churl was a class of people, think more sort of peasants that own their own land and are free, that sort of thing. So it's I think yeomanry more than peasant. Yeomanry is respectable. Peasant is an insult. This is the Red Gate. And that is the Wansdyke. Quite a huge bank, which had been huger in the early medieval period. There's much theory about what he was for. The biggest, the most likely explanation, it was a defensive demarcation for a romantic remnants of Romano-British culture, defending itself against the Scots, the Irish and the Anglo-Saxons, possibly their own people. I want to believe. I can easily believe it. There are other theories. It is a spectacular monument. Goes on for miles. Would have been a spectacular amount of effort for people who were no longer in a civilised state. So, but then again, people have been making earthworks in this area, ditches and banks for thousands of years. But anyway, yeah, this is the Red Gate. No, it's on the map as the Red Shore. It's marked as something differently, slightly different on the charter. It's known as the Riyadh Gate on the charter, but Red Shore. Why it's called Shore is Shuren, which is Old English to cut. So it's a cutting through the dike. It's where we get the words to score. If you score through along a ruler on a piece of paper before tearing it, you're scoring it. It's another one of those words that there's a remnant in modern English. Anyway, we're going to go along the edge of the Wansdyke, which is on the chart. On this charter, it's known as the Alden Gate, the Alden Ditch, and but in another charter it is written down as Wansdyke. So it's easy to identify. But various other places it's known as Wansdyke as well. the circular route to make it more interesting. It's worth saying a few more things about the landscape, about the Wansdyke. So we've seen Neolithic, seen possibly Anglo-Saxon, we've seen Romano British, we've seen some cows, and or corn crakes, I think, something like that. But so it's a quite, it's quite a nice walk, and as we're walking, we're unpeeling like an onion what the landscape's trying to tell us. So as you can see, there's a hollow way that's been used so much. It's not a ceremonial way or anything interesting like that. It's just where travelling has scored a shape into the landscape, and there you can see the diagonal lines. There's not just one fixed path, there's people taking several paths, and it's because of, as I was saying, the weather. When it gets muddy, you just have to shift over to the side, and that's why the landscape's scored. It's not any sort of mysterious ritual thing, it's just people using the landscape and having effects on it. So I'm making my way down there. I'm about to leave the downland and head back to Alton. There's a little bit of a walk that's on the road. It's about a kilometre, 2/3 of a mile.